Guys, it's me Sharmise and I am back with another video. Still on my journey to do as many public speaking videos as possible. I wanted to do a series called Public Speaking with Professor Mo. That's me. I have been doing videos where I was sitting in the parking lot and then I overheated because I didn't know how to record, and then I did one at home. And now I am driving in circles because my baby's sleeping. So this is going to be module 5, and in module 5 we talk about authenticity while public speaking. So it's actually one of my favorite things to talk about, because a lot of times when I have my in-person students, there's that level of social comparison, and they're like, well, I don't think that I did good because I wasn't like so and so, and I'm not a good public speaker because I can't do A, B, and C. Oftentimes we compare ourselves to other people and their particular speaking styles that are tailored to their personality. So today I kind of want to unpack how you can be authentic to whoever you are and tie that into your public speaking style. I've said in a couple videos I would consider myself more on the quirky side. I definitely, you can hear me in my verbal pauses. I'm the queen of somebody's and that hasn't necessarily changed for me. Sometimes I have more, sometimes I have less. It really depends on how prepared I am, if I'm being honest, as well as my level of nerves or since having my baby, my second child, my train of thought is just not there, and that's okay. So definitely excited. I'm trying to fix my hair now. I'm definitely excited to talk with you all. That's not it. Let me see. Okay. Better-ish. This one little straight. Okay. So today we're going to talk about authenticity while public speaking. So the first thing that I want to talk about is just personality styles. There are really loud personalities, and in a classroom setting, I usually have the class clown. I have, a know-it-all. I might have my really quiet student. I might have my really quiet intelligent student, because quiet and intelligent are not always the same thing. I might have the more introverted person. Then I have the epitome of an extrovert. But just because you have a loud personality doesn't mean you know how to turn it on while public speaking. There's also like the really insecure, nervous person. There's the people in the classroom who you wouldn't even know that they were in the class if the teacher didn't take roll, or there's people who literally fade into the background because they have certain levels of insecurity and or anxiety. All these things kind of play into what you're going to do when you stand in front of people. I wouldn't consider myself a nervous person, but when I'm not familiar with every single person in the room, there's that level of, how are these people going to perceive me? And that's why people question themselves or doubt themselves so much when they're public speaking. So if I were going to base my public speaking style off of who I am, I'm going to lean into the fact that I'm loud. I'm going to lean into the fact that I'm more of a dry humor person. I'm not a overtly funny person. I don't have punchlines. I'm not trying to make everybody kiki. I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say and hope for the best. Hope I don't offend the people in the room, because that's how honest I can be at times, or candid I can be at times. Because I speak so loud, I have a lot of vocal variety. Sometimes my voice is a little high pitched. That's when maybe I'm telling stories. I'm a little bit more animated. I might use my hands. I might walk around a little bit. That's my genuine natural personality. So I'm going to play into all of that as I'm speaking. I'm going to continue to use that vocal variety if I in my storytelling, and I'm going to continue to use my hands to make an emphasis on things. So that is who I am. I'm not going to, I can still be an expert but still use my personality. I can still be an expert Because when you are doing public speaking, you are supposed to appear knowledgeable and the expert on whatever your topic is. So whatever my topic is, I'm going to give it, but I'm going to give it my way. That doesn't mean that I have to, like, a lot of times when people do public speaking, they're like, you can't be perceived a certain way because you do A, B, and C. You can be quiet and still be the most knowledgeable person in the room. My only thing, when you have a more soft-spoken personality or a soft-spoken voice, you have to compensate for that. So if you're one of those people who is really, really, really quiet and you don't like to project your voice, then you're gonna have to compensate for that as a speaker. Still be yourself. Still speak as low as you want to, honey. But if that's what you're gonna do, then I would encourage you to find a way to make sure that everybody in the room still hears you. So I always tell my students, walk around, work the room so that everybody has an opportunity to hear the words that you're saying. You don't have to scream. You don't have to be anything that you're not, but you're gonna have to walk around. I remember one of my students, Sam, she's super soft-spoken. But I said, baby, you're going to have to pace or something. Next speech, she walked left to right periodically as she was speaking to ensure that everyone was able to hear her voice. Still herself with a slight modification, okay? Then there's the class clown. I think you can still be funny. You can definitely still be funny as a public speaker, but don't do too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to bring anybody down, but sometimes when you do too much, it can be perceived as obnoxious. So you have to turn into a little bit more of a professional if you're the class clown. If you thrive on jokes and thrive on punchlines and thrive on making the people around you laugh, put that into your speech. Your opener is gonna kill, you know? If you want to put those jokes in there, then you should, but tastefully. They should be relatable to your speech. They should be relatable to your topic and your subject matter. And don't do too much. Don't dim your light. Don't become something that you're not. Put as many jokes in there that are applicable, but just, you're supposed to be the expert. You don't want to turn people off. You don't want people to not take you seriously. So this is the case where you want to time your jokes. You can still do all the things you want to do, but just time them. There are still funny people that have the dry humor, like me. Sometimes I'm literally storytelling and people are like cracking up, and I didn't even know that it would be received in that way. If you have a more dry sense of humor, you don't have to be loud. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Make sure that you stay true to that. So we talked about the comedians. We talked about the more quiet people. Then there's the people who don't want to be seen at all. Don't necessarily want to speak in front of people at all. That can be challenging, and it's a lot to unpack in that specific category, because there are varying reasons as to why somebody might not want to speak, which I'm not even going to speak to because it's not my business. And again, there's so many different reasons. In those particular instances, I would say in-person public speaking may not be your jam. But if you are one of those people who don't like to speak in front of people, don't like to be seen, don't like to really talk too much, I would challenge you to find the topic that most interests you. I had a student years ago, I had to kind of not bribe, but almost. I said, I really would like it if you would stay in my class. Like, how can I guarantee that you'll stay in my class? I'll meet you where you are. I will encourage you. If you don't want to speak in front of the class, and when you get up there, look at me, lock eyes with me. And by his second, probably the third speech, he had started picking topics that he was most interested in, so much so that he went over on his time. That's another, subject in itself, but it's super important. Your passion could come out, your interest will come out, your natural everything will kind of come together if it's a topic that you're genuinely interested in or experienced in. So if you have those, secret interests or things you're not necessarily sure everybody else is interested in, so be it, honey. I would get up there and talk about it. Like, I know there's a lot of people who are interested in like anime or like manga or like these really intricate niche hobbies. If that's you, get up there and talk about it, because one, it's gonna be information that you can share. Two, it's going to be something that you can heavily expound on because you're knowledgeable. So I think it would be a top tier speech, and it will also be something that you probably won't stumble too much on. And next thing you know, maybe you're making eye contact as you're speaking. Maybe you're making connections that you didn't even know that you could make. So I definitely want to challenge you to, if all the nervousness is there and you're just like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, if I can do this, pick a topic, pick a person, pick an area that you are so passionate about that you can't fail. Does that make sense? If nothing else, because I feel like I've been talking in circles because I'm driving and I'm trying to be mindful. But when it comes to public speaking, it's important to be yourself because people buy into that. I just drove past a snake. I think I just drove past a snake. Be yourself, because you're guaranteed to make a connection based on that. If you get up in front of an audience, you imitate or you emulate, I feel like people can personally see through it. That's why it's more advantageous to just develop a speaking style that is centered around who you are as a person. But people are going to want to connect with you and your story and your journey. And if you lean into that, you'll be a lot better for it. I don't know that this was the most conventional way to push out this information, but if you don't take anything away from this, you see who I am and how I'm talking. This is me. Every single video, this is going to be me. I think people can see through a facade, and I feel like people can see through a lack of authenticity. People buy into you being real. People buy into, oh, she's quirky. Oh, she's funny. Oh, she's serious. Oh, she's passionate. People buy into that, whatever that looks like. Don't give anybody a choice but to just accept what you have to offer. As a public speaker, you have a story to tell, you have information to share, and the more you weave your personality and your story and your journey and your interest and experience into every topic that you have, the more your passion will shine through and the more people will subscribe to whatever you're talking about. So I hope that makes sense. A lot of times people get in front of an audience and they just share the information. I disagree. Like, I definitely feel like you have to make everything your own, and making it your own, you're not looking to the left of you, you're not looking to the right of you. You're supposed to be making it your own, whatever that looks like for you. And keep in mind, every single person in the room that you're speaking is not your target audience. So whoever you're supposed to connect with, you will. And whoever ain't your vibe, oh well. So that's my spiel on authenticity in public speaking. I hope and I pray that it resonates with you. I love public speaking and I love connecting with audiences. And I realized a long time ago that I'm not for everyone. So because I know that, I go into a room knowing that every single connection may not be there, but I can do my best and I can provide the information that I've been assigned to share. So that is that. If I had to think of a discussion question, I would say, what do you feel like your speaking style is? For me, I talked about before storytelling. I think if I had to describe my speaking style, I would say animated, because I'm all over the place when I'm speaking, and a lot of times I add a little razzle, little dazzle, and oftentimes it helps me to further make connections with my audience. So that's that. I'll see you guys next time.